What's going on, guys? Sir Wayne here, bringing you guys another YouTube video. And today I'd like to just talk about something that could be pretty cool, just a future idea of Call of War that they could do to make the game so much more interesting and bring more players to it. And what that is would be a world championship. And what I mean, how that would work is not like how they do now, where you have alliances and you would have these alliances fight each other for 5v5s against each other, and the winner moves on. And I think it takes like 2 months or something like that for the championships every year, 3 months, whatever it is, of you just being dedicated to being available and just all this time to practice, and you haven't have backup people to play and all this team stuff. I just don't like it. There's no real from what I've ever seen. I've never seen anything where it says, "Hey, congratulations to such and such. They're the world champions," or anything like that. So there's just not really, like, besides going in and getting a win in a map, there's not really a whole lot to go for. So I mean, as you can see, I'm scrolling through here. There's just no, "Hey, here's your world champions of such and such." So there's just nothing for it. So what I would like is for there to be like games where you would go into a World at War 100, and this would be like the World at War event or championship event, and there'd be 100 players, and then you guys would fight it out for number one. Whoever is last and wins gets an invitation to the World Championship, or the next round rather. And it could be like a 50 map. It could be like a 50. The next map could be like a 50 map, a Pacific or home front map, whichever. Probably a Pacific because it's got more water into it. Could show like more of, how good you are in the naval world. And then you could have all those people, whoever wins out of that 50 or gets the top two or whatever it is, advance onto the next stage. And then the next stage could be like a 22 map of some sort. And you would make it like at days. Like you would have, say, this first event is open, for the first 2 weeks or a week or whatever. So it's not like if you lost one, you don't get in, you don't have a shot at getting another shot. But let's say the next map, the third map would be like a 25 map or a 22 map, probably a 22 map, and then the winner of that would go. The winners of that would go on. Maybe a limited amount of those 22 maps, and the winners of that would go on to like a 10 map, a 5v5, or not a 5v5, but a 10-player map like the Road to Europe or whatever, or the 12-player map, whichever. And then they would like, they could have you like, I mean, what if they flew you to, if Batro flew you into, I think, is it Belgium or the Netherlands that they're at, or is it Hamburg? Maybe it's Hamburg, Germany. But I can't remember where they're out of. But maybe they fly you to their headquarters or whatever, and they do a world tournament where it's maybe it's a 10-player map, and, you can make it like a 10-speed map or something like that, and it could be over in a day or two, or in a day. And you could have like a 2-day event, world championship event or something like that. And you could have, it live and everything. You can have it streamed, and you can have it streamed and everything. So it could be really, really interesting to watch and see who the best players in the world are. Because right now, like, our best players in the world are these rankings of whoever's got the higher level, which means nothing, absolutely nothing. Because, I mean, this guy's got a 275.75. Ooh, big deal. I mean, I get it. He's number one. He's played a lot of games. Okay, gotcha. You look at this guy. He's got 231. Not a big deal. This guy, now he's got 636. I will give you credit on that, dude. But for the majority of them, got high levels. Some of them got high levels. Some of them just don't have good levels. Most of them don't have good levels at all. So, and when they don't have, high levels, that, to me, that just says that they've played a lot of games. So, but I think that would be super interesting, guys. And like I said, the maps, like especially the 100 map, the first stage, like they can have it in stages, and the first stage, like the World War map or whatever, it can be open for like 2 weeks. So anybody who gets number one, and there could be like 5 maps at a time or something like that, and then or as soon as they fill up, they keep dropping them out, right? They could have like 2 or 3 of them at a time, and then as soon as they fill up, another 1 or 2 drops or whatever, and constantly have like 2 or 3 maps open at all times, and then have those maps open for whoever gets first in that stage for the first 2 weeks or something like that, or first week and a half, 10 days, whatever it is. And then stage two would be like a Pacific map where it's 50 people of nothing but people who have already got their invite for that stage. So I just think that would be very interesting, guys, and it would really bring a whole new atmosphere to Call of War, and I think it would bring new people to Call of War, and it would just be super, super, super cool to be like, no, this guy is the best player in the world, and that guy was number 2 at Worlds last year. So, and there's not really a whole lot of people of Call of War that you can say that is like legit good, other than sitting there looking at the rankings and going, well, he's level 150, he's level 200, he must be good. So other than that, you can't really judge based on that unless you look at their KD ratio, which mine's 5.80, and I definitely look at that. But it would just be really nice, and I think it would change the atmosphere, and I think it would bring more players to the game and make more people excited about the game, and it would just be awesome to compete, for a championship. And those stages, you could also make it to where those stages where you had like, I know I'm just rambling about how they could do it because I can, but they can even do as far as like having a stage 1 and a stage 2, and then not doing a Worlds until like at the end of the year, and then have like stage 1 and stage 2 and stage 3 2 times a year or something, or 3 times a year. Like you could have the first 2 stages, 2 or 3, 3 or 4 times a year, and then you can have the third stage at any point in time or whatever, or with that, and then like to the point where you give people enough chances to to qualify to be able to go. And I mean, you could call it whatever you want, Call of War Championship, Call of War World Championship, Call of War Call of War Nationals, qualifiers, Call of War qualifiers, or whatever you wanted to call it. But like it would be so much more fun to be like, yeah, I got to play for the championship. I got to play for the championship. And you can even go as far as making the countries that are picked random and stuff like that, so people don't team up in these 100s, or less likely to be able to team up in these 100s. There's just the sky's the limit on what could happen, and this would totally change how the game goes, and I think it would tremendously rise in popularity if something like that happened. But anyway, that's going to do it this way, guys. And please like, comment, and subscribe, and share this as much as you can if this is something you would like, and let Boutro know how you feel.